What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your co-host Christian today, and I'm joined by my good friend, my brother. Introduce yourself, sir.
What's up? No, I'm not in Hawaii. I'm just thinking this is New Year 2023. It's the first all new, all elite wrestling dynamite. Brand new set, brand new everything. It's a new year. I'm representing for my man Christian. I gotta look good for him. This is his show. So you know what? This is what I do. So I'm ready to cover tonight's dynamite. It was a great show. I do have to say, you might be surprised with what I think was the match of the night and who sort of like shined out the most. I guess shined, is that the word? No, it's not. Shown the most to me in terms of wrestling ability. And my dog Daisy is popping in and out of the Did you see her?
I did.
Here she is. Hi, hi, Mama. Okay, sorry. Back to the show.
Back to the show. Okay, so let's talk about the first AEW Dynamite.
And our friend, sorry to cut you off, sir, but we got Seth Rogen. Yeah, his name Joe Rogan in the background.
Oh, shit, you can hear that? Whoops, let me turn
Yes.
that down a little bit. Hold up. Let me turn that down. Shout out to Joe Rogan, huge fan.
Shout out to Joe Rogan and
Huge fan.
By the way, as he does this, I'm gonna let y'all know I'm hungry, so I'm eating a strawberry shortcake. Good humor, sponsor us.
If I could find a fucking remote here.
Technical difficulties.
Ooh, alrighty.
Ass.
Sorry about that.
Doesn't he have
Let's get back on the show. So
who has a firm ass? Go ahead, Christian. I said you have a firm ass. You just totally got up and everybody got excited. Go ahead.
Oh my god. Well, most of our listeners are on Spotify, so they don't get to see my nice ass.
Guess what? Go on YouTube because you can see Christian's ass.
Well, okay, so this was the first Dynamite of 2023. I thought it was an awesome show. I was texting Anthony during this show, not spoiling anything, just this is one of those episodes of Dynamite where, for the first time in a long time, I'm on the edge of my seat, jumping. I'm very interested in all the matches, all the segments, everything. So let's talk about it. So this week, they were live for their first ever show in 2023 at the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington. Wow. I always wanted to go to Washington State, but it's very, very fucking cold. So they started off the show with one of the matches they've been talking about for several weeks, anticipating for several weeks. They started off with Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. The crowd chanted Ricky so loud. So Chris Jericho did the middle finger to the crowd. Ricky Starks hits a shoulder tackle, and then they exchange slaps. They left the ring briefly, leading to Ricky Starks sending Chris Jericho into the steel steps. Jericho worked over Ricky Starks with some corner clothesline. Starks held Jericho's arm, followed by a rope walk punch off a slam off the shoulders for a 2 count. Jericho and Starks battled on top of the apron, with Jericho suplexing Ricky Starks from the apron to the floor. Then they went on to their commercial or picture-in-picture break, where they continued when Jericho was still in control of the match, and then they come back with Ricky Starks hitting a clothesline. Jericho hits the mat very, very hard, and then looks at Angelo Parker, who hits the mat more, so the crowd started clapping. They exchanged some more chops, where Ricky Starks hits a drop kick, then Starks kicks Jericho again in the gut, followed by a light tiger bomb for a 2 count. And then they continued on with the match with the ref. And then Ricky Starks got in for an inside cradle for a 2 count, followed by a tornado DDT. Ricky Starks knocks down it was Angelo Parker off the apron. Knocks Angelo Parker off the apron. Ricky Starks bounces off the ropes and hits a spear for a win, 1-2-3, after about a 15-16 minute match. I thought this match was very good. Good match to start off the new year, new Dynamite. They have a whole new setup and everything. So I think AEW is trying to make a real big change here. But some key notes on my opinions on the match. I thought it was very, very good. I think the crowd over here is really over with Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks doesn't use the spear as his main finisher, so the fact that he used it and got the win from it. Maybe, he does it very, very good too. So maybe that's his new finisher. I don't know what's next for Jericho here. We saw him lose to Action on Andrade a couple of weeks ago. We haven't seen too much of him either since that happened. Ricky Starks just had a title match with MJF, lost it. So I'm not too sure what's next for him either. But what did you think about this match? And what do you think's next for these two superstars here? Wrestlers. Sorry, we're not talking about WWE.
Superstar. Okay, a couple of things. Seattle, Washington, what's up? You guys turned up really good for this show, which was good to see.
Oh yeah, the crowd was so good this show. Absolutely.
Two, the stage was underwhelming to me. I thought they were gonna do something. I guess it's cool. It's just the LEDs board. You can't really. There's really no difference, in my opinion. I mean, there's a difference, but it's just like basic. This is a really good match to me, and this stands out to me as one of the better matches of the night. I enjoyed all the action throughout the night, but in my opinion, I really enjoyed this match because I haven't really been a huge Ricky Starks fan. I've said this on the program many times before. But this match kind of made me a Ricky Starks believer. Jericho is a great heel. Obviously, he knows what he's doing, but he's putting over a guy like Ricky Starks who is great. And I don't necessarily put him over, but just Ricky Starks is great. So I think this is a really good match to start off Dynamite. It was a great way to kick off AEW for 2023, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about our first segment of the night, which of the year actually, and excuse me. As much as I'm not a fan of this guy right here, it is good to hear from him. Let's hear from Hangman Adam Page. Tony Schiavone was in the ring and he introduces Hangman Adam Page, comes out to the ring, and says that as of today, he is not medically clear to compete with the fans booing. Page said that he is told that if he gets into another fight with Jon Moxley, that might set things back for another week. Page said that he wants he wants to face Jon Moxley next week. Page said that he's going to go home tonight, get a brain scan, and he'll be cleared for next week. Page said about Moxley that he will knock your dick off the turn coming Monday. Wow. Just when I thought AEW, had some chill, but it gets worse. So Jon Moxley makes his way to the entrance. Obviously walking through the crowd, and as always, Moxley was in the ring with Page with the fans chanting for Mox. Moxley said he was surprised Page even made it here after everything he's been through. Moxley said that he's sick of the ongoing Virgil for Hangman Adam Page while the fans chanted, "We can't hear you" at Moxley. That led to Moxley getting a new microphone, so he used that, saying fucking multiple times while it wasn't working. And it worked, so the fans started cheering. Moxley talked about how wrestling for 2 months with torn triceps, he said nobody has gotten knocked down as much as him, and seeing Hangman playing the victim makes Moxley sick. Hangman said that he's been knocked out by enemies, strangers, and even his best friends. Hangman said that it's unfortunate part about what they do, and he never would be mad at Mox for it. Hangman said that Moxley nearly took Page's career from him, and he said that to crack a joke. Moxley said that the only joke that he thinks is funny is that Page thinks next time will be different. Moxley told Page he'll make sure of that. And they are set to fight one-on-one next week in LA. Quick notes about this promo here. It was a very, very good segment between a rivalry here that has been unfinished, and it's kind of just picking up where I left off. So it's good to see that. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Hangman Adam Page, but I do sometimes, for the most part, to be honest, enjoy his segments more than his matches, though. And I've always felt like that. I think that my Page will get some type of revenge. I hope he's okay, medically. because concussions is no joke. Obviously, we see Adam Cole not coming back from concussions for a while. But what do you think about this promo here? And are you excited to finally see these two go at it?
I hope my fucking belt stays in the frame because I am your current and longest reigning WWE pay-per-view champion. And I can't wait to defeat you and hold on to this title after the Royal Rumble. Cheap plug. Anyways, what AEW does really good, in my opinion, is they build onto other shows and they make you want to tune in the next week, which WWE kind of needs to do a bit better of. They kind of just like they tell you what happens, but most of the promos and stuff are for pay-per-view matches. They don't really do these types of promos for a basic episode of Raw or a basic episode of SmackDown. AEW does a really good job of making these shows seem like you have to tune in. And obviously oh my God, Hangman Page and Jon Moxley is definitely, you're gonna want to watch that. I was into it. I just like how there are two guys ready to fuck each other up. They don't care, about the rules. They're just gonna go at it. And I hope Page is ready to compete, and I hope he, doesn't get hurt anymore. But yeah, I mean, Page is gonna be able to do. They're gonna have a hell of a match. I'm excited. This match really got me excited for next week to see what's gonna finally happen when the two finally meet up again. It's been when October was the last time they fought.
Absolutely. I'm also excited to see this match. I hope I just hope we don't see I hope they don't make it some bullshit type of match, but with Moxley, doing bleeding too much. I don't want to see that shit. I want them to have a good, clean match. But
Yeah.
real quick before we talk about the AEW Championship match, AEW Tag Team Championship match, excuse me. Video aired between Samoa Joe and Darby Allin talking about the TNT title shot tonight in the main event. And then Joe said he is the true king of television. Real quick, because there's nothing much to talk about, I just want to mention we're in Darby Allin's hometown tonight. He is main eventing for the TNT title. So this is just another promo to build that up as they've been building that up for the last week. So let's talk about the AEW Championship match between the Acclaimed versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Real quick before I talk about the match, I want to talk about Matt Caster's rap. Because man, what was that awesome? He said TNA stands for Total Nonstop Acclaimed. I thought that was the best line he's ever said in history. He also mentioned about Dixie Carter as well.
Mentioning Dixie.
Mentioning Jeff Jarrett's wife Karen. So this was just a good rap to the ring as always. But let's talk about the match. So this match, it was okay. Bowen started off for the team against Jarrett, which led to Jarrett punching Caster on the apron. Caster tagged in against Lethal and did some a type of Kurt Angle mock towards Jeff Jarrett. In case you don't know, and if you don't know the history in TNA, Kurt Angle has a lot of history with Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Jarrett's wife. But so I thought that was kind of funny. Because I was a huge TNA fan back in that era. But the Acclaim hit their double team leg drop spot on both opponents, and Daddy Ass did the scissor thing for a huge pop. Lethal slapped Gunn in the head. Gunn went to the ring, and the referee correctly tossed Billy Gunn back, and then they went to their picture break. The challengers were in full control in the match when Jay Lethal took away. He took away too long for an elbow drop, but Bowens avoided it. Jarrett, excuse me, tagged in and knocked Caster off the apron to stop a tag. Bowens hit a belly to back suplex on Jarrett. Caster tagged in and against Lethal, leading to Caster knocking both guys, followed by a back body drop on Lethal, a super kick on Jarrett, and a dive onto Lethal. Caster jumped off the two and hits a cross body block on Lethal for a 2 count as Jeff Jarrett breaks up the pin. And then we get later into the match where Aubrey Edwards got way too far. So Jeff Jarrett was in the ring for way too long as they did some combos offense for a double team, and then Sing what's his dude's name? Oh shit. They get interfered. I forget that dude's name. Holy hell. But they get interfered, and then the other referees went to ringside to send Singh to the. I think his name's Singh. He's that really tall
Saddam
fucking.
Singh.
Yes, they sent him to the back. Bowens hits a forearm to the back of Lethal, and Jarrett hit the stroke of Bowens, who got his foot on the bottom rope. Dutt knocked the foot off the rope, and the referee counted the pin. Aubrey Edwards saw what happened, so she was informing the ring announcer about it. And then she said that the match will continue. The match restarted. Lethal tried to cheat on a pin attempt. Bowens countered it with a pin attempt on top of Jay Lethal for a pinfall. And the winners of this match, and still your AEW Tag Team Champions, the Acclaimed. I thought it was a good match. Kind of a corny, Lethal and Jarrett winning it in a cheesy way, and then them restarting. I thought that was kind of corny. Yep. Other than that, it's a good match between these two teams. I'm happy Jarrett and Lethal actually didn't win. That shook me. I was like, no, like that actually got me out of my seat. I'm not gonna lie. So that was a good moment about it. It was very interesting to watch, but I'm just excited to see what the Acclaimed is going to do next. What about you, sir? What do you think about this match?
Okay. I thought this was a decent match. We knew Jarrett and Lethal weren't really going to win, which I know you thought was corny the way that they did do that, but I was happily surprised with that because I was like, wait, did they really let them win? So I was kind of pissed.
Right.
I don't know, this whole rivalry has been really corny, in my opinion. The hip hop, like the rap promos have been funny. They've been really good. The Acclaimed are great at what they do. It's just, this is kind of reminding me of WWE booking where it's like, these two guys aren't going to win. They did pretty good for the team I didn't think was going to win. Sam Singh just fucking give everyone a middle finger and not doing anything was very interesting. But yeah, this is a decent match. I thought it was okay. The ending, was all right. But I mean, what are you going to do with these teams? I mean, you knew the Acclaim was not going to lose.
I agree. So before we take our first break, real quick, let's talk about the AEW Women's Champion Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who were interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Britt and Jamie said that Saraya doesn't understand how things work around here. Britt said that they worked their way to the top of the AEW Women's Division. Britt said no matter who Saraya's partner is, but Saraya still hasn't made that decision on who her partner is. Hayter said that she's the champion. Britt said she's the boss, and Hayter will be Saraya and Saraya's partner. Britt did her DMD to sign it all off, and that was the end of that. Before we take our first break, Anthony, how did you feel about this promo? And I mean, I don't want to ruin anything, but we do know now her tag team partner is Toni Storm. A lot of people thought it was going to be Sasha Banks, who's now Mercedes Moné, because Britt Baker didn't mention the boss. So that's what people were assuming, but we know now it's Toni Storm. So what do you think? Are you excited for this match coming up?
Well, we don't necessarily know it's going to be Toni Storm. We know that that's Euron Saraya makes the comment about that, and we'll talk about that with the interview. But with this, the big picture here is that she says, "I'm the boss," which obviously everyone's going to jump on that and think Mercedes Moné is coming, Sasha Banks. She didn't say she was the boss when she was in New Japan. She said she was the blueprint. So I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. This is gonna take place this Wednesday, right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, yes, there you go. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. But yeah, Dr. Britt Baker is fucking fine as fuck, so I'm totally down to see that.
I do agree. And real quick before we actually do take our first break, backstage promo between Jungle Boy Jack Perry saying that for one night only, he's going to team up with Hook against Big Bill and Lee Moriarty for this week's Dynamite, which is in Jack Perry's hometown. What the hell do you think of Jungle Boy and Hook teaming up? And do
I
you
don't
think
really
it's gonna
care.
be? And do you think it's gonna be more than one time?
No, I don't really care. I think they're trying to find more like tag teams. I think because I mean they're putting Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal together to take on the Acclaims at this point. Put everybody together. They're gonna put fucking Drink the Clown and fucking Kamala together. Here's my thought process on this. Just fucking go with the flow. I don't know. This tag team division is really random. I don't get why Jungle Boy and Hook are working together to begin with, but you know it's good to see. I guess very interesting.
Awesome, awesome. So we are going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about our next match, which is Bryan Danielson in his hometown, who is from Aberdeen, Washington, which is not that far away from Seattle, versus Tony Nese, who is with Josh Woods and Smart Mark Sterling.
All right, we'll be back.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm still Christian. That is still Anthony. Anthony.
What do you want? Don't you have to like call me your current WWE pay-per-view champion? I mean, that's what I am. You would always just quickly say Anthony. It's the current.
Sorry, you are the current WWE pay-per-view champion.
Thank you. See,
but not for much longer.
Okay.
At all.
We'll see. We're almost coming up soon. I mean, listen.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, but
I'm excited. Let's do it. So let's talk before the Rumble, though. Let's talk about Bryan Danielson versus Tony Nese, who's accompanied by Josh Woods and Mark Sterling. There was a huge ovation for Bryan Danielson because, like I mentioned earlier before a break, he is from Aberdeen, Washington, which is a town nearby Seattle. So the crowd was going crazy, chanting the yes as usual. But they started the match with Woods with a distraction. So Nese took down Bryan against the turnbuckle, and Nese hit a running knee for a 2 count. Bryan worked over Nese with kicks in a corner, followed by a running clothesline. Bryan with repeated kicks to the chest with yes chants. Nese blocked by a roundhouse kick and gave Bryan a powerbomb into the corner. Bryan set up in the corner, leading to a knee to the face. And then Bryan stomped on Nese's head repeatedly while the fans chanted yes again. And then Bryan applied a STF submission style with the referee calling the bell. Match over. Match didn't last long, 5 minutes. It was an easy match for Bryan Danielson, as it should be. Tony Nese isn't a threat to anybody. We've seen Hook kick his ass before. The only person he's beaten is Danhausen. Danhausen's not a threat at all. So, real quick before I talk about what happened after the match, what did you think about this 5-minute match here?
Boring. And I think Bryan Danielson, dominate. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I just think, I don't know. I'm not really feeling, I don't know. I'm just not really feeling the situation right now with Bryan Danielson. I'm just ready to see him take on MJF. I don't care so much about other stuff. So I thought it was okay. I think it could be better, in my opinion.
I agree. But speaking of MJF and Bryan Danielson, after the match, Bryan Danielson did a post-match promo saying that it was great to be back in his home state. He said that he's feeling a little froggy and he's ready for another fight. So he says, MJF, get your ass out here. MJF makes his entrance in a suit with obviously the AEW world title around his waist. MJF called him brain damaged Bryan, and MJF said no to the idea of wrestling him. MJF said he doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care about anything. He calls Bryan a mark. He says that he gets a big fat check whether he wrestles or doesn't, which makes him a special attraction. MJF mentioned the fans chanting Bryan's name every week over and over. Bryan said that if Lance Storm and Dean Malenko had a child, it would be more charismatic than Danielson. MJF said that he looks like a goat, which doesn't make him a goat, meaning the greatest of all time. MJF said that in the back, 1981, Mama Danielson couldn't find a human suitor. Bryan said that in the back they talk about they talk shit about his back all the time. and they talk about how many human suitors MJF's mom has had, and she might have had a few guys that are in the arena right now. So Bryan Danielson asses, and the fans begin to pop. MJF said that the Triple B in the world championship proves that he's the best wrestler in the world. MJF ripped on the journalist thinking that Bryan is the best, and the marks thinking that Bryan is the best. MJF said that he's taunted as the best in the world by people that have been in this business. The fan chatted asshole at MJF, which this was my favorite part of the whole promo. This was a very, very long promo, by the way, but this is my favorite part, which that leads to MJF putting over guys such as Disco Inferno, Eric Bischoff, and my boy, the greatest of all time, Mr. Jim Cornette.
Yes, I mean, I heard that. I thought of you. I was about to say he was going to have a connection.
And when the fans booed that, I cheered my ass off. And then Bryan just told MJF to shut up, with the fans chanting "shut the fuck up" at MJF. I don't want to go too more into that. But let's get to the main point here, where he I'm sorry. There's a woman in the crowd yelling at MJF, which led to MJF calling a woman a fat skank. MJF told Bryan to pick any stipulation you like. Bryan said that in this stipulation you won't be able to get yourself disqualified. Bryan said that he wants MJF to agree to a 1 hour Iron Man match. And Bryan wondered if Maxi Pad was scared. And the MJF said, "God damn it, you're on." Bryan Danielson does have to win a couple matches to get this match, but this match will take place on February 8th at Revolution. Or no, is it March 8th or February 8th?
I think it's March 8th.
March, okay.
Okay. I think it's March.
March 8th when they get to Revolution. So I thought the promo was very, very long. It didn't have to go this long. But Bryan having to go undefeated for the next month on AEW TV to get his title match at Revolution. It's a good build up. It's a good idea to build the match up. I definitely think he's gonna do it. I'm freaking excited for Revolution. I'm excited for this match. What do you think about this promo? And are you excited to finally see this match? Because I think a lot of the fans, have been anticipating this match a lot ever since Danielson or MJF's won the title, because we constantly every week hear him mentioning him. So what do you think?
Well, I think this is going to be a good chance to finally see MJF. I have a feeling they were doing this on purpose. MJF hasn't really fought too much this year, and he actually made a comment about it during one of the promos where he's like, "I've graced your, for 2022, I fought like 6 times maybe." And I think that him competing in a 1 hour Ironman match is going to finally put the doubters to the side. This is going to be a very interesting match. Bryan Danielson had a great 43-minute match with Adam Page last year, so I'm figuring they're probably thinking that they can go to the distance again. Well, not again, but Danielson can go to the distance again. I'm a big MJF fan, even though I hate on him. I'm the real champion here, but MJF is still a good champion. I'm not a hater. I'm the main champion though. But Bryan Danielson, man, I want to see him win. I want to see Bryan Danielson get the win. He's not going to. I doubt it. But Bryan Danielson's the man. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. So this is gonna be a good match because they have such different styles. I wonder how the hour time frame is gonna go. So I'm excited for this one.
I wonder how the hour time frame is going to go as well, because like you mentioned, we don't see MJF wrestle a whole lot. So I'm freaking excited. I can't wait. And I can't wait for the build-ups to this match. But let's talk about another Seattle relative, or another Seattle. This guy's a Seattle. He's from Seattle. He trained in Seattle, but he's actually from not too far where I'm from, Lancaster, PA. Let's talk about Swerve Strickland versus AR Fox. Swerve wrestles out of Tacoma, Washington, so he did get cheered a little bit, even though right now he has became a heel. Swerve has his two affiliates with him, that one big ass wrestler and Parker guy. They did some spots with nobody really, giving a fuck about no one really cared about this match. Excalibur mentioned the rivalry in Lucha Underground, which I thought was pretty cool. We saw Michael Cole mention Lucha Underground on WWE, so I loved Lucha Underground, so that was cool. But Swerve's charge at Fox, who did a backflip out of the ring to avoid him. Fox with the kick, followed by a running moonsault onto Swerve to the floor. Fox hits a corkscrew brainbuster where we're back in the ring. Fox hit a corner clothesline on Swerve, and then the painted face man with a cheap shot punch on Fox that led Swerve hitting a running kick onto the floor. They went to the picture break. We come back from the picture break where Swerve and Fox exchange kicks. Fox takes a diving back elbow to the corner, but Swerve countered with a cutter into a suplex, followed by a flattener for a 2 count. Fox hit a 450 splash off the top rope for a 2 count, and then one of the tattoo guys on Swerve's team distracted the referee. Parker gave Fox something that Swerve used to punch. Fox and Swerve gave Fox a deadly Death Valley driver on to the apron, which led to Swerve sending Fox back into the ring. Fox sat into the ring for another 10 seconds while Swerve set up, and Swerve hit the Swerve stomp off the top rope for a pinfall. I thought this match was very, very fast paced. And I like that. A lot of people right now are talking about, wishing this match involved Darby versus Swerve, two Washington guys and two guys who would have another good fast-paced match like this. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because I seen some of AR Fox's stuff on Dark, but not too much of a fan of him. So I think Swerve should be working with somebody a little bit better. They're clearly building up something here for a match against Keith Lee. That's probably going to be happening in March at Revolution. So they're not rushing to do anything here. Fox is, he's been in the company for a little bit now, and as much as I'm not too familiar with him or don't care for him, the couple matches I've seen for him were decent. So I don't know if he's gonna get a push here. But what do you think about this match, sir? What do you think about Swerve Strickland, and do you think they're gonna be building up a match versus Keith Lee?
Yeah, they're definitely gonna build up Keith Lee and Swerve. This was a very fast-paced match, like you said. I wasn't really a big fan of it just because I didn't really pay much attention to it. But Swerve Strickland is just kicking ass. AR Fox is doing really good himself. He's from Connecticut to represent. It was good. It was good to see these two guys go at it. So I mean, there really wasn't much to it, but it was good.
I agree. We're seeing, we seen Swerve, be more of a tag team wrestler now, so it's good to finally see him being in a feud. That's actually meaningful for once. But let's talk about the next match, or no, excuse me. Before we talk about, let's talk about Saraya, the trio of Saraya, Tony Storm, and Hikaru Shihida were interviewed by
Hikaru Shida.
I always fuck up her name. We're interviewed by Renee Paquette backstage. Saraya talked about Britt Baker always trying to be a gatekeeper in AEW, while Storm complained about, Baker injuring her in the face and then taking the title. Saraya was asked about her tag team partner against Baker and Hayter. Saraya said that she had the best female roster in the world, the best matches in the world for women's wrestling. And then Saraya talked about how she is sitting next to the best wrestler in the world. Saraya told Tony that it would be her partner. Saraya really turned back to Shida to talk to Storm. Shida was shocked. Even Renee was shocked. Renee said it sounds like it would be official. I don't know if this means Tony Storm is going to team with Saraya. We talked about this off air. I do think this is AEW's way of telling us that Storm is with Saraya and that Sasha Banks is going to be there. I do. I do. I think something's gonna happen where they beat the shit. You said this, I think, and I agree. They're gonna beat the shit out of Tony Storm, and then boom, here comes fucking
Well, I
Mercedes
actually have a
coming
new
in.
theory now.
Okay,
I
so what do you think about this? What do you think's gonna happen?
I think Sheeta is going to attack Storm before the match because the
Ooh,
way they were playing it off, Sheeta looked pissed, and then Tony Schiavone is like, "Wow, Sheeta looks. Did you see the look on her face?" I can see Sheeta being like, "I'm the best in the world," and take out Tony Storm. Obviously, Saraya's not going to want to team up with Sheeta because she just attacked fucking what's her face. They're going to attack. They're basically going to talk shit to Saraya, and then if I was doing Mercedes Monet, or or again, it's not going to happen, but Mandy Rose could be a possibility.
I agree.
Solution.
That would be a fucking
Yeah,
that
but
would be
nobody
something.
would see it coming.
That would be something. Well, let's hear from the Gun Boys, the Ass Boys. The Guns, you know, Austin and Colton Gunn, sons of Billy Gunn, had a graphic that said FTRIP, that
F trip.
F trip. That said F trip May 2027, 2020 to December 21st, 2022, which is the day the Guns beat FTR. The fans were chanting "Ass Boys" as the Guns, with Austin saying that they were there to pay their respects to FTR's legacy. Colin talked about how FTR traveled the world and had 3 championships, but not AEW. Austin trashed FTR for having dad bots and talked about how they beat FTR in the ring while mentioning that FTR lost the Ring of Honor, AAA, and IWGP tag team titles while claiming that the Guns destroyed FTR's legacy, and Austin and Colton did a moment of silence, which led to boos. The music of STR started playing. Austin and Colton Gunn laughed about it. Austin said that FTR can wrestle for any promotion, but they'll never work for AEW again. Colton claimed that they are the new living legends and the new top guys in the world. This is just a setup for FTR coming back and beating the shit out of the Guns. What do you think about this?
Yeah, this is a good timing for this because we know that the FTR has been talking about possibly wanting to leave. The Gun Club, I really thought that FTR was coming out. They did play a joke on me. I thought they were going to show up.
So
Gun
did
Club
I.
is
But
doing
they were
really
in
good.
Japan, so I knew they were.
Gun Club is doing really good. They're kicking ass. I'm excited to see what's next. But I mean, this is kind of silly shenanigans. They really didn't do much. They just beat them. So I don't get why Gun Club was so gung ho. But it does fit their characters. But yeah, it was good. It was good to see this. It was kind of funny.
I agree. Well, something that's not good to see was another pointless match between these group of ladies right here, and I think this storyline is very, really boring. Kiera Hogan and Sky Blue versus the TBS champion Jade Cargill and Red Velvet on a 2-on-2 tag team match. What was I gonna say? Okay, so Velvet and Blue did a routine on getting near fall attempts that looked like wrestling practice. Hogan tagged in with a hip attack on Velvet along with a leg drop to the back. Blue back in with a spinning kick to the head with a DDT on Velvet. Cargill tagged in and they went to a picture break. Real quick, we know that Red Velvet recently has been having attitudes with Cargill and not getting along. So I'll talk more about that after the match. But they went back after the picture break where Jade caught Hogan and hit a spinning slam for 2. Velvet looked angry about something, so Jade tagged her in to bring her in. Hogan with an elbow and a corner splash, a sliding kick into the corner for 2. Hogan with a suplex. Cargill tagged in herself with a kick and a thrust kick that knocked Blue off the apron. Cargill hit a chokeslam on Hogan. Cargill told Velvet to whoop her ass, but Velvet went to the floor and refused to tag. Hogan got a roll for 2, and Excalibur screaming how Cargill might lose, but I really thought she was. But she kicks out and then hits a pump kick, and then pins Hogan for a 3 count. Winner Cargill and Velvet. We see, like I said, we constantly seeing Red Velvet not liking Cargill. We don't know why, but I think it's going to set something up at Revolution between those two for the TBS title. Maybe Red Velvet's the one to take that title from her, but what do you think about this match, and what do you think about Red Velvet? You know what I'm saying, kind of turning against Cargill, slowly turning against Jade Cargill.
I thought it was boring. It didn't make any sense. Like Red Velvet is like, doing these little things, and is she doing try to get in the head of Jade Cargill? Is she turning against her? We don't even really know. It looks like she's turning against her. But again, this is just a pointless victory for Jade to continue on her streak. Again, nothing really special here. Just Jade Cargill doing her thing. But I guess Red Velvet looks great, though, I will say.
I agree. I love Red Velvet. I'm happy she's back from injury, but it was time for the main event with Darby Allin up first. They showed clips of Darby holding the TNT title in the past while skateboarding in the streets of Seattle because that's where he's from. The fans pop big for Darby Allin when he made his entrance in the arena. Excalibur spoke about, excuse me, Darby Allin being trained by Buddy Wayne, who's Darby Allin's trainer in Seattle, who passed away. He hugs his son Nick Wayne at ringside. The reason I'm mentioning him is because a lot of people are wondering who Nick Wayne is. I'm actually very, very familiar on who Nick Wayne is. He's a 17-year-old right now that has a future contract in AEW that Darby Allin gave him himself. He's also the son of Darby Allin's trainer. So this night, him being at ringside is just a huge night for Darby Allin. But Samoa Joe makes his way to the ring where he grabs Nick Wayne by the shirt to be a bully. So Darby Allin hits Joe with a suicide dive. Allin attacked Joe with his skateboard. They went up to the ramp towards the back with Darby jumping off the ramp onto the skateboard, onto Samoa Joe's back. Allin got a ladder and hit some type of somersault off the ladder onto Samoa Joe, and they get back into the ring, and here goes the match. They went into the ring. The match starts with Darby Allin hitting a drop kick to Samoa Joe to knock him out of the match, and then Darby went for a leap attack, but Joe caught him to push him into the steel steps, which went into picture. Real quick, before I talk about the rest of this match, I was kind of disappointed with the way they started this. I didn't like the way I know they have some unfinished business that they have to take care of, but I don't think they should have started the match. How WWE kind of does it, where they do some type of like stupid bullshit, like fighting before the actual match. That I guess it's supposed to get the crowd going, but the crowd's already going because Darby's in his hometown.
Yeah.
So that didn't make much sense to me, but whatever. They get back to the picture break. Sorry for the Sorry, my notes are all on my computer. My laptop just died. So, okay, blah, blah, blah. So they went back to the picture break, and then they showed Darby Allin jumping on Samoa Joe's back for a choke, but Joe fell back onto him to break it. Samoa Joe did a sweep kick to the leg with Darby grabbing his right knee. Allin charged. Joe caught him, and Joe hit a double knee move that was wild. Joe was really teased. He was teasing the muscle buster, but Darby got out of it really quickly and hits a German suplex while Joe pulled a turnbuckle pad off. Joe went for a choke, but Allin countered it for a 2 count. Allin went for a flipping stunner that didn't work because Joe applied a sleeper, only for Allin to power out of that by punching his chest. Allin sent Joe into the exposed turnbuckle in a code red. That was great. Greatly executed by Darby Allin. Allin hits a coffin drop to Joe's back. Joe turned over and Allin hits another coffin drop again for the pin. Darby wins the match. The Seattle crowd goes crazy, and Darby Allin is your new AEW TNT champion. It was a very entertaining match. I thought the match was going to go over TV time because they mentioned that if the match did, they didn't care. But it was an entertaining match. Darby did get the cheap attack before the bell, like I mentioned, but I guess Darby kind of owes that revenge back to Samoa Joe. Great to see Darby Allin win the match and win in his hometown. Darby celebrated the TNT title. The fans popped, and then Sting comes out and gives Darby Allin a big hug. We saw Sting scream at Darby Allin before the match. So it's great to see wrestlers, especially young guys like Darby, who deserve it so much. I knew he was gonna win because it's Seattle's hometown, but I popped so fucking hard because I love it. I'm happy for Darby. It was a fucking hell of a first episode for 2023, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Darby Allin. So, Anthony, what did you think about this main event? And what do you think about Darby Allin becoming a two-time AEW TNT champion?
He's like me, a two-time champion. I mean, listen, welcome, Darby Allin. Welcome to the team. Here's the thing, Darby Allin's great. I don't like the way that they were building Samoa Joe as the king of TV, and now it's like, okay, he's not the champion anymore. I don't get that. I know he's still Ring of Honor, TV champion, but maybe this is just going to show us a sign of Samoa Joe sort of taking a back seat to major AEW storylines. I hope not, but if he's a Ring of Honor TV champion, he's not going to be on. I mean, I won't think he would be on a Dynamite every week if he's only Ring of Honor champion.
I agree.
Match. Samoa Joe's the bomb still. Darby Allin's great. Good to see Sting back. But yeah, this is a great match. Darby Allin is a great. Now he's a two-time TNT champion. He deserves it. And I'm excited to see what's next for Darby as champion, to see who steps up to the plate to take on Darby. I'm excited for all this new year, man. I'm excited for All Elite Wrestling, man. A lot of stuff's happening, especially with WWE on the men with everything going on. I'm excited for this year, sir.
Me too, my friend. What was your moment of the night before we sign off here? My moment of the night was Darby winning the title in his hometown. Simply for the fact that it's his hometown and he got such a big pop out of it. But real quick, Anthony, what was your highlight of the night?
For me, just because again, like I like when wrestlers make me fans. Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho. For me, that stood out. I'm a big fan of Starks now. That's why I really enjoy when wrestlers are able to compete against other good talent to see what they can do. I'm excited for dude. The most exciting thing I'm looking forward to though is to see what's going to happen with Saraya and Tony Storm. Who is it going to be? Also, John Moxley and fucking Adam Page. It's gonna be a good night tomorrow night.
Absolutely, I'm very excited. Final thoughts here, just on the show. I thought it was a very good, like I said, very good way to kick off 2023. So I'm very, very excited for that. We're currently recording on the 10th, so tomorrow is AEW in California. So go check that out. Go check us out. Anthony, thank you for letting me host Dynamite once again, my friend. I'm excited for the future, what we have for the Uncensored Pro Wrestling podcast.
I'm excited, man.
SmackDown next. So everyone get ready for that. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for 2023. And let's get it. Anthony, thank you, my friend.
All right. Listen, good.
Let's get it. I appreciate you, brother.
Christian, I appreciate you, man. This dude is All Elite Wrestling through and through. So, I mean, I don't have to do it. I could just sit here, look good, and just chill while this dude covers it all. So I appreciate him. And yeah, I'm excited. Great episode next week. This episode was kind of filler. It's kind of just leading us to next week. So I'm kind of excited for next week. Danielson and fucking MJF. It's gonna be, listen, I know they're not fighting, but we got a lot of good things happening. Revolution's March 3rd. Royal Rumble January 28th. A lot's going on. Christian, again, thank you for killing it. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us. And like Christian said, we will be back. Stay safe. Bye, everybody. Peace.
Later.